249 years. In the long arc of history, it's really not that very long when you think about it. This idea that all men are created equal and endowed with rights, not by a government or a king, but by God. Basic rights that can't be taken away. It's still new. It's still fragile. It is that guiding principle that we have fought to protect time and time again during these short, nearly 2.5 centuries. And it's something to be proud of. But despite this country being far freer today than even a century ago, or having the potential to be both freer and more prosperous than perhaps at any other time in our history, American pride is fading, particularly with a certain group of Americans, unfortunately, Democrats. A Gallup poll released this week showed that only 36% of Democrats say that they are extremely or very proud to be American. 37% of Democrats said that patriotism had a negative impact on the country. That sentiment is also creeping into political independence as well. This is undoubtedly the result of decades of the left separating us from our American identity. For the left in this country, we're not really Americans at all. We're African Americans or Latinx, I don't even know what that means. Gay and lesbian Americans and trans Americans. They want us to be proud of our hyphenated identities, but not America. Teddy Roosevelt warned of this corrosion. He said, quote, "There can be no divided allegiance here. Any man who says he is an American but then something else also isn't American at all. We have room for but one flag, the American flag, one language here, and that is the English language, and we have room for but one sole loyalty." American pride is healthy, and it is a great strength of this nation because it is properly ordered spiritually. This is what I mean by that. Our founders were religious men. John Adams famously said that our Constitution was created only for a moral and religious people. You can be proud of being an American, and it's not sinful pride or cultish pride, because in valuing the Judeo-Christian foundations of this country, we acknowledge the supremacy of God's truth over man-made creation. American pride doesn't place the country or the government above biblical truth. In fact, by definition, it subjugates the republic in the presence of the Almighty. On the other hand, Marxists and socialists are by definition amoral and atheist, which means they should have no place in our schools or our government and our media. But because of our Constitution, they are afforded the ability to hold and speak even their toxic ideology. And this is what Ben Franklin meant by "we've given you a republic if you can keep it." Our founders knew that the fight for independence was really just beginning. Perhaps they couldn't have fathomed the world in which we live with instant communication and global networks of radicals and anti-American ideologies embedded in our schools, but they did know that keeping our republic would be a constant fight against enemies not only foreign but also domestic, people who would attempt to divide and denigrate this nation, and those who would give government so much power that our republic would become akin to a monarchy again. You know, every U.S. military service member, every federal employee, and all elected officials except the president take an oath to defend the Constitution against, quote, all enemies, both foreign and domestic. That language was drafted during the Civil War when adherence to another radical ideology, slavery, nearly ripped the nation apart for good. The Gallup poll shows that divisive ideologies are making headway in our society. Our choice now is to allow that advance and ultimately the destruction of the nation, or recognize that our fight for our republic is ongoing. The latter requires each of us to play a role in fighting for it. Teach your kids and your grandkids correct history. Fly the American flag. Attend a parade this weekend. Treat someone with respect. Say please and thank you, sir and ma'am. Learn English. Support a community nonprofit. Volunteer. Go to church. Go to church and pray for our country, maybe even run for office. We all can do our part. To the young people out there, and yes, also the angry mobs of Democrat socialists, patriotism and pride in America is okay. It's a good thing. It is grounded in objective truth that our unity around the greatest aspirations of the republic, dating all the way back to its founding, are to be recognized as the reason that we have become the strongest nation on earth. America is not just a place, it's an idea, and if you do it right, it becomes part of you. It is something that you feel. You know, we pledge that we are one nation, indivisible under God, but for those who celebrate the American experience, it is an energy that is indivisible from our very souls. You feel it through and through. It's a good thing. In a letter to his wife Abigail on July 2nd, 1776, John Adams wrote that these days celebrating our independence, quote, ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade and shows and games and sports and guns, bells and bonfires and illuminations from one end of the continent to the other, from this time forward, forevermore. So get out there. There is much to celebrate this weekend. And always, may God bless America.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.